Hey everyone, welcome to Cover Creations. My name is Gareth and this is my little corner of the internet for playing with my food. Today we are back on the lamb week and we're going to use another great big chunk of it today, which is good. So this you're going to love. It is so different to a roast that I kind of love making this anyway. And we're using leftover lamb for this, but we could quite easily use minced lamb. It works just as well. Really nice. We're going to start by first me telling you what this actually is, which would help, wouldn't it, Gareth? Yes, it would. Right, we are making a lamb flatbread, and it's kind of like a Turkish recipe. It's called Lamacun, I believe. My pronunciation might be slightly off. It's definitely not my first language, but absolutely wonderful recipe. Really simple to make, but also kind of simple in flavour, but works so well. It really kind of just, all of the notes hit dead right. So we'll start, finally, by making the flatbread. So what you're going to need, really simple on this one, is you're going to need 75 grams of self-raising flour. You're going to need 75 grams again of plain flour. Reason we're doing mixing the two is because I want this to have a little bit of kind of softness to it, but not too much. This is a flatbread. I have no idea which of those was self-raising, which was plain, by the way. So then straight away add 75 millilitres of warm water. And then a little bit of olive oil. So about a tablespoon of olive oil. Like so. Last off, dash of salt, and you're good to start mixing. So good pinch of salt, about half a teaspoon. Perfect. So now get your hands dirty. Just get them in there, get it all mixed around. Eventually that will just start coming together and you can turn it out onto your work surface. Okay, once you've got that all incorporated into a single piece of dough, you can just gently flour that work surface, just a little bit. And then you're going to turn it out and just knead it for 2 minutes, no more. This isn't, some bread that you need to spend hours over. It's really nice and easy. So just keep doing it until you get this nice kind of silken look to it. It feels like a good ball of dough, really. And there we go. It's looking great now. Yeah, the texture's changed. It's nice, it feels light, it feels elastic. You can kind of push it and it will start pulling itself back together. Now you've got that there, we can just leave that to rest. Easiest way to do that, pop it somewhere, use the bowl and just whack it over the top. We're going to leave that for at least 15 minutes. And that will just kind of help the dough, really. So now we can clean this down and get started with the covering. Okay, so for that topping, nice and simple. Just going to grab yourself some coriander. You want fresh, and you want a small handful, like so. And then you're just going to chop that up. And we're going to use half of it in the topping, and then I'm just going to use half for decoration afterwards. It's nice to have a little bit of fresh coriander. So pop off any really woody stalks, but don't worry about most of it. Stalks still contain flavour, and that will do. And then just give that a good old chop up. So there we go. Coriander is all done. And now your lamb. So you'll have 150 grams of the leftover lamb for this. And actually this time, unlike pretty much every other time where you just shred it down, we're really going to chop this one up. The idea being, if you think of something like a minced lamb, it's going to be down to that sort of size because you want it spread. I mean, when they're making this, like the Lamacun, normally it's using almost pulled down to a paste. Not quite going that far with this one. I'm keeping it as a little bit of chunks in there, but nothing huge. And so basically, I'm just going to chop it down. So you get little bits, almost half a fingernail size. I shouldn't really talk about fingernails when you're talking about food. Doesn't help with it sounding like it tastes good, does it? Okay, so now that's chopped down nicely. That's all we need for this. So all we've got to do, wait till we've had our 15 minutes or so on that dough, and then we can start putting it all together. Okay, so that's rested now. All we're gonna have to do, essentially make the base. So grab yourself a nice baking sheet, and then a little drizzle of oil. So a little bit of olive oil on the bottom. And then just smear that, stop brushing, smear that around. And that will just help any base kind of crisp, stop it sticking down. Okay, once that's done, you just want to grab yourself some plain flour, dust your work surface, try not to use the oily hand. And then we're going to roll that out until it's about the same size as your baking tray. So you grab this, a little bit of olive oil now, doesn't matter. And then just smear it out. You see it's quite elastic, works really well. Yeah, and just roll it until you got it roughly the same sort of size and shape. And there we go, all done. So now just pop it on your baking tray. And the good thing about this is it is almost like a pizza dough. You can stretch it a bit without any worries. And then just whack that onto your tray. A little bit rustic in shape, but that's what we want. So there we go. Now we have to do a little drizzle of olive oil over the top. Just helps it get that really nice kind of coloration to it. Just smear that around a bit. Lovely. And then we're going to pop that in the oven, 180 degrees C for 15 minutes. There we go. And while that's happening, I'll drop my towel. While that's happening, we can then just make the topping for it. So grab yourself a frying pan. Again, a little bit of olive oil in the bottom. And then we're going to toast some spices. Okay, so spicing. Into this, we might as well turn it on. We're going to put a teaspoon of ground cumin. Is that a teaspoon? That is a teaspoon. Excellent. Like so. We're going to put half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And these are all flavours that just really work well with lamb. So half a teaspoon of cinnamon in there, and then a little bit of chilli. So this one's down to you, depends how hot you like it. But I want to put about 1/4 teaspoon of ground chilli in there. Lovely. So once those have kind of, cooked down a bit, and you get that lovely smell, they've toasted up, and you'll just get this aroma everywhere, which is fab. We'll be ready to put in the rest. So there it is. That smell is just kind of permeating the kitchen. So now you're going to need to add in your lamb. Half of that coriander that you chopped up earlier. Sprinkle that in. And then you're going to add in 2 tablespoons of tomato puree. So there's 1, there's 2. Now just add in 100 ml of water, and we're going to mix that all together. And we're just going to cook that until kind of the liquid's almost all disappeared. So we go, all mixed in nicely. Like I say, we're just going to leave that, and it's going to simmer away for a bit. And you're just going to wait until it's not completely dry, but everything's kind of stuck together. It's looking good. So I'll crack on. Should take 5 minutes max. So there we go. I can feel that's drying out now. There's no little bubbles of liquid anymore. That's perfect. It is almost like a paste. You're going to be able to smear it. So we can turn that off, pop that to the side, and just wait until that bread's ready. Okay, so that bread's done now. We're just going to pop that out. You see it's not completely cooked yet, but that's fine because we're going to go back in. So we're going to now spread, pop that there, some more tomato puree over the top of that bread. So what I want is probably about 2 tablespoons. I'm just going to give it a bit of a loose run around. And this is great because it just, when it cooks, you get these lovely kind of edges to it. And you're just going to, back of a spoon, spread that around a bit. Get some to those edges. And now just spread that lamb on top. So you're going to grab bits and then just, yeah, spread it out. To get a nice good covering. There we go. Sometimes you just have to use your hands. It's so much easier. So grab it now, go back in that oven, still at 180, give it another 10 minutes and we're good to go. Okay, there you go. 10 minutes later and it's done. I'm just gonna gently slide that off onto our board and that is gorgeous. I'm really happy about this one. Just because it is so much, you know, it's so different. So just finishing this off, we're just going to grab a little bit of that leftover coriander, give that a sprinkle all over, lovely. And then sour cream goes so well with this. So just a little teaspoon and some little lumps of sour cream on it. Absolutely gorgeous. And I'm very happy about this one because even though this is meant to serve 2, I get to eat this entirely myself today because I'm on my own. So pop those on there. Probably going to use about 2 or 3 tablespoons. As much or as little as you like, really. Delicious. So there we go. It's as simple as that. You know, this isn't like a major one where you have to do hundreds, millions of things. You've got a cracking meal there for just, you know, probably about 25 minutes work. And all that time, most of it's in the oven anyway. So I hope you give this one a go. I hope you enjoy it because I love this. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.